Hey guys, and welcome back to Lil U Life. I'm Dr. Gibson Gray, and we're going to talk about something that affects every baby, jaundice. What is jaundice and why do we care about it? We'll answer this question and many more in the next few minutes, so grab your phototherapy shades and let's get started. Jaundice is the yellowing of the skin and the eyes caused by a molecule in the blood called bilirubin. All babies get jaundice, but to varying degrees. It's a normal process in most babies after birth, but for some it's more significant. Jaundice happens as the end result after the destruction of red blood cells, for one reason or another. Confused yet? Why are we talking about blood? Isn't this about jaundice? We'll get there. Red blood cells carry oxygen to all of the places in your body. The more red blood cells that are available, the more oxygen you can carry. Yes, babies do practice breathing before birth to strengthen the muscles, but they don't actually need their lungs to get oxygen yet, since there's no real air inside of mom's uterus. Babies get oxygen through the placenta and the blood coming through the umbilical cord, but there's not as much oxygen available inside as the air outside. So, in low oxygen environments, like Denver, Colorado, or inside a uterus, the body needs more red blood cells to carry enough oxygen where it needs to go. So after birth, we're now in a higher oxygen environment, the world. So we don't need as many red blood cells to get oxygen everywhere, to all of our organs. These extra red blood cells floating around are gradually destroyed after the baby's born, later to be cleaned up by the body, specifically the liver part of that body. The byproducts of these destroyed red blood cells is what causes jaundice. Bruising. There's lots of things that can cause jaundice other than that are as a result of the red blood cell destruction. Bruising from delivery, because a bruise is just a little bit of leaked blood somewhere. This is why bruises eventually do turn yellow. Infection, because infection can kill red blood cells too. Even prolonged delayed cord clamping, since this adds blood to the baby right before birth, blood that will later have to be destroyed. Now, don't come at me because I'm knocking delayed cord clamping, because there are huge benefits to limited delayed cord clamping for anything 1 to 2 minutes, but that's a talk for another day. Some babies, though, are at an increased risk for severe jaundice, usually based on a difference in blood type between mom and baby. In these cases, what happens is a tiny amount of baby's blood gets into mom's system during pregnancy. The mom's body recognizes this as foreign and sends antibodies to fight against it. These antibodies then cross over into the baby's body and begin to destroy the baby's blood. The destroyed cells then burst open, spilling the contents out into the bloodstream. The baby's body then has to do what it does and clean up the mess, and this leads to the formation of bilirubin. In these cases, in addition to the lights, we can also give them a medicine called IVIG to soak up these bad antibodies and slow the destruction down. So what, you say? Why is a little yellow skin and a little yellow eyes so bad? If left untreated and the bilirubin levels get too high, the bilirubin can leak into the brain and cause permanent brain damage. But the good news is it's typically very easy to treat. So, how do we know how high is too high for bilirubin levels? We do have charts and graphs that have been studied a lot to show us how high of a level is safe. These were just recently updated by the AAP in 2022. But this doesn't answer the question of how high of a level is unsafe. We can't actually study that without allowing some damage to be done to some babies, which is never going to happen. We have to make our best guess as to what is unsafe based on how high the levels were in babies that previously had, unfortunately, bad outcomes. So, once we've decided we need to treat, how do we treat it? What do we do about this? And if it's so easy to treat? The way we treat it is we place babies under a special blue light that's shined on their skin. The light works by changing the shape of the bilirubin molecule, making it easier to get out of the body through the urine and stool. This blue light can either be placed over the baby's crib or it can be an LED blanket wrapped around the baby. Both forms work well to treat the jaundice. And if your baby needs this, it is important to leave them under the light as instructed by your provider, since the amount of time and skin exposed to the light is the dose that's needed to decrease that jaundice level. Also, since bilirubin is eliminated in urine and stool, it makes sense that increased feeding volumes also, which help babies have more wet and dirty diapers, then helps to lower the bilirubin levels as well. This is why it may be helpful for some babies to receive a little bit of formula supplementation if mom's breast milk supply is still getting started and the baby is very jaundiced. Well, that wraps up our talk about jaundice today. Thanks for joining me here. I hope this overview has been helpful and can guide you to a better understanding of your baby's possible challenges in the NICU. For specific questions about your baby's jaundice, talk to your baby's medical team or neonatologist. And don't forget to find us on social media or check us out on one of our other videos on advancedneonatal.com for some easy to understand explanations and helpful information about all things NICU.